All right, so now we're gonna glue up the brace and the middle post pieces to create the beginnings of our A-frame. So always do a dry fit before you do anything. And a dry fit is just putting things together without any glue to make sure things match up. And really what I'm looking for is gaps. Is there too much of a gap up here? This one has a little bit of a gap because there's a little bit of a ridge where I cut it. So I'm just gonna try to shave that down a little bit. Gap is pretty well solved, okay? And again, this one has some fuzziness on the end. Don't really like the fuzziness. So you can take if you have a knife at home, you can just shave off the fuzziness, or you could take some of your sandpaper and shave that off. Getting rid of that fuzziness now would be nice because it's purely aesthetic, but it does look a little junky, okay? So I have a pretty good matchup of the pieces right there. So what I'm gonna do is, just gonna take a little bit of glue. And again, it's really nice to have this on top of something. Don't do this on top of a surface that the glue is going to be able to stick to. That includes a wooden coffee table, a wooden countertop. If you have a surface that's either got a plastic coating on it, or if you have the wax paper that I was able to provide in some of the kits, I apologize to people that we ran out the day that we were boxing it up and I could not go out and get more. I was hoping that you have something at home. Okay, so what I did is I glued up the ends and now I'm just going to press them together. And simple as that. But if you look, you won't be able to see it over the screen, but when you do it, every time you let go of it, you can push them together, and every time you let go, you see it relax just a little bit. We don't want it relaxed a little bit. We want it to stay tight. Well, how are we going to keep it tight when you guys probably at home don't have clamps that are able to do this? I actually don't even have clamps. Any clamp I have, these pieces would slide all over the place. It's very hard to clamp things that have angles going this way and angles going that way, and the angles oppose each other. So whenever I try to push them together, they're just gonna slip apart one way or the other. Well, the best thing to do is to put your middle finger to here, or your index finger here, your middle finger here, and your thumb here, and just literally hold them down for a while. Now, I know this is not fun, but if you can just hold this down for 5, maybe 10 minutes, that's gonna be wicked helpful. Well, what are we gonna do? Well, we have the YouTube on my computer, so we're gonna watch a couple how it's made videos on interesting stuff. Last period, people chose hot dogs and candy canes, so we can do something like that or whatever you want. But anyways, hold this for at least 5 to 10 minutes. If you can do it for 10, that's better. If you can only do 5, okay, but we have to be exceptionally careful when we move it around then. After 5 or 10 minutes, it is not going to be completely cured. It's gonna be far from that, but it will be hardened up enough that we can move it a little bit and it should still stay tight. It won't relax and create those gaps. Any amount of pressure we put on it's going to break the glue, but it should still stay kind of together, okay? So that's what we're going to do. And then the next video is going to be how to put the lower rail on, which is literally the easiest thing in the world.